Welcome to another episode of Nori is off the line. This is your positive source of insights, opinions, and relevant information. We are live on TBN Philippines, TBN Asia, and UCAP TV. And tonight, guys, we will have a frontliner, a nurse, enjoy Cruz all the way from Saudi Arabia. But before that, I'd like to inform you again of our donation platform or donation partner. Ang tawag po dyan is yung Giving Hero. Giving Hero is an app that you can download on Play Store and App Store. This makes your donations easily transferable from your end to our end. Ang sinusuportahan po ng ating partnership with Giving Hero is the Magpuri Pilipinas Live that we have broadcasted last May 11. That is in support of Project Kalinga, Project Refuge, Open Doors Philippines, and also yung ating pong mga less fortunate Christian artists that are fully dependent sa pagkakaroon po ng events, pagkakaroon ng gigs, ng kanilang mga bookings. Alam naman po natin with the current situation that we are on, ito po yung mga bagay or ito po yung mga sector that are heavily impacted by this crisis. So that's why we are pleading to your kind and good hearts that you can now donate easily through Giving Hero. And of course, in June 12, we will be participating in a digital concert like no other called I Speak Jesus. Kasama po dyan si Michelle Santiago and One Quest Music. And para po mas maintindihan or para po mas informed kayo dito sa I Speak Jesus concert po na ito, I'm just gonna play a short video teaser about I Speak Jesus. So ito na po siya. At after this video, I'm gonna be bringing in Joy Cruz with us. Okay? So ito po. Alright, and that is I Speak Jesus. And now we have Joy Cruz all the way from Saudi Arabia. Miss Joy, how are you? Isang magandang gabi sa iyo. At I don't know what particular time you have now there. Now is 10:04 in the evening po dito sa Pilipinas. How are you doing?
Hi, Sir Nori. Good evening, Philippines. Assalamualaikum from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, yun yung greetings nila dyan no?
Yes po. Right now, it's 5 p.m. in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
All right. So good afternoon pala.
Good afternoon po dito.
Okay. So let's have a quick background about yourself para po sa mga nanonood, and of course to those of all the viewers and your friends and relatives na in-invite mo also to watch us on this stream, and this will be televised next week, by the way. So ano naman po, konting background about yourself naman.
Okay, sir. First and foremost, thank you, Sir Nori, for inviting me on your show. Off the Line of UCAP Television, or the United Christian Artists of the Philippines. Mm-hmm. My complete name actually is Myra Joy de la Cruz.
Okay.
So Joy Cruz is just on Facebook. And I already work in the Philippines for 10 years. 2 years in Olivares General Hospital in operating room, and 8 years in Hospital ng Maynila Medical Center in postpartum ward, labor and delivery /OR. So I've been in Kingdom for 4 years now, since April 2015, and I still have 1 year running contract to complete the 6 years.
Wow.
So right now,
malapit na matapos yung
po.
6th year mo.
April po, 2021 actually.
April 2021.
And yes po, next year pa.
Alright. Anong plano nyo po after ng contract? Renew na lang?
Hindi po natin masasabi kasi we can never cancel what will happen tomorrow. Pero
Tama naman.
Pero ano po sana, it's hard to say, really, actually.
Ano na lang, no? We'll make a decision once we are in that situation. Parang ganun ba yan?
Yes.
All right,
Opo.
sige, sige. Anyways, the reason why I invited you on board is that, from whatever is happening right now, dito po sa ating crisis na pinagdadaanan ng buong mundo, hindi lang ng Pilipinas, hindi lang ng
Yes,
Saudi
yes.
Arabia, ng buong mundo. And it's nice to get some insights from frontliners across the globe. Kasi I've already interviewed a doctor, a nurse previously dito sa Pilipinas. So this is the first time that I am interviewing a frontliner from a different country. So siguro my first question would be this. Light muna tayo. So my first question ko po ay ito. How did this situation, itong crisis natin po ngayon, change the way you approach your life?
Well,
Pang Miss
actually,
Universe
Nori, I
question po
believe,
yan, ma'am.
oo nga, no? Pero, sige,
Oo.
kaya natin to.
Kaya yan, kaya yan.
Well, well, Nori, I believe that, I think you would also agree with this, that,
Mhm.
well, life is a journey, not a destination,
Okay.
no? Um, well, while I still have this life, which is borrowed from God,
Mhm.
it has to be used in a meaningful way, which is to leave my own legacy in a field of nursing.
Mhm.
Life is actually 10% of what is happening to you and 90% on how you react on it. So, mas malaki yung percentage ng how you react on a situation, di ba?
Mhm.
So, therefore, I should react on a present situation responsibly
Mhm.
and to do my obligations to the best that I could.
Wow, pang Miss Universe
Siyempre.
pati yung sagot, 'di ba? Pero anyways, kasi po mahirap 'di ba? Hindi naman siya madaling how do I say it? Hindi siya madali when it comes to the way we normally live dati.
Yes.
Kasi ngayon talaga ibang-iba eh. Like in my situation, pag ako po ay lumabas ng bahay, yung asawa ko, ang dami ng guidelines niyan sa akin. Siya na mismo nagbibigay sa akin ng guidelines. And, of course, ako naman, bilang hindi tayo sanay kasi sa ganun eh. Mas sanay tayo sa dating gawi, no? So, I have to adapt. I have to make sure na, oo nga pala, no? I have to be reminded every now and then na, oo nga pala, mas maging maingat, mas maging malinis, mas maging, alam mo yun, ang daming kaakibat na mga initiatives coming from us para maka-adapt lang tayo dito sa new normal kung tawagin. In your part po, ano yung mga changes na maaari nyong ma-share sa amin na in-adapt ninyo para mag-cope kayo dito sa new normal? I'm sure madami yan.
Well, for example, here in a field of work that I am in right
Mm-mm.
now, kasi before we are just wearing our uniform, wearing our tarha, we need to
Mm-mm.
cover our head. And now,
Tarha ba yung sa
surgical
head?
po, yung
Tar-
tarha.
Yun yung
Tarha.
sa ulo.
Yes, opo.
Okay.
Yun lang. But now the surgical face mask is already part of our uniform.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the changes.
Mm-hmm.
Because before we are using the surgical mask whenever we are about to be exposed to a suspected patient or positive patient.
Mm-hmm.
But now, kasi hindi natin nakikita yung kalaban natin.
Mm-hmm.
So he is or it is in a form of virus.
Correct.
So hindi natin siya nakikita. So all we have to do is to protect ourselves first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, maybe though ginagawa na natin to, pero mas ginagawa natin to ngayon dahil we need to prioritize between our needs and wants.
Correct.
Okay?
Oo.
No, kasi minsan po, um, before this pandemic, maisipan lang natin lumabas, ginagawa agad natin.
Mm-hmm.
But now, we need to think first if it is a need. Kasi kung wants lang siya, it's not that important at all.
Oo.
No? So maybe we can postpone or maybe wag na lang natin gawin.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi this is not a normal life that we are in right now.
Mm-mm.
Kasi actually, to tama ka dun, Sir Nori, when you said it is hard to adapt now.
Mm-mm.
Kasi lahat ng bago, like protocols and guidelines, na pinasusunod sa atin,
Mm-mm.
we humans are resistant at first. And that's normal.
Mm-mm.
Kasi we
Correct.
will adjust, really. We need to we need to change some of our routines.
Mm-mm.
No, resistant tayo at first. But along the way, when we realize the importance of these protocols and guidelines given to us by those who are in a higher authority,
Mm-mm.
we submit ourselves to abide with the rules.
Tsaka
Kasi it's
I think isang bagay din, Miss Joy, is that,
yes,
tama yung sinabi mo eh, sa una resistance ang nangyayari, no? So we
mhm,
are resistant to changes, we are trying to push back and all that. Pero eventually parang nakakasanayan din eh. Like in
opo,
March 16, yes, tama, yan. March 16 was the day that the lockdown started. Lahat resistant talaga. Parang ang hirap, anong gagawin natin, etc. etc. Hanggang sa naging nakasanayan na. Humigpit pa nga eh.
opo,
From GCQ, naging mahigpit, naging ECQ, now naging MECQ, and then on Monday, magiging GCQ na ulit. So, yung ganun,
ganon,
parang
opo,
sanay na ba sa
yes.
buhay-buhay. But let me ask you one thing. Since you are servicing in a hospital, did you have any first-hand experience with um, a positive case?
Sa ngayon wala pa naman po.
Wala pa. Yung
Opo.
yung hospital nyo meron? Wala din?
Ah, wala pa po sa ngayon. Kasi
Wala
ang ganito
pa.
po 'yan eh.
Mm.
Um, Magaling po ang ano nila, ang infection control and prevention na strategies nila. Kasi pagpasok pa lang ng vicinity,
Mm.
there's already a designated area for screening.
Mhm.
And then once there is actually we have this checklist to determine those patients uh, who are
Probably.
needing
Mm.
who are
Probably
needing a
positive.
further investigations.
Mm.
We immediately isolate them, and then they have this facility for isolation room
Mhm.
for them to be further examined. And once confirmed, they have this facility
Mm.
that would cater those positive cases. Actually, hindi agad positive because they need to undergo swabbing,
Mm.
and this swabbing will took a couple of days before the
Mm.
result will come out.
Mm.
So while waiting for the swabbing test results, they are already transferred to other hospital from our hospital
Mm. Mm.
because there is already a designated hospital for those who are COVID patients.
Oo. So
Ganon
kumbaga
po.
segregated na. And yung hospital
Yes.
mo hindi siya designated to facilitate COVID-19 patients.
Yes, sir.
Di ikaw
But
ay
we can
ikaw
screen
ay
them na.
blessed talaga, oo. Kasi
Opo, but we can
hindi,
screen
oo.
na. We can screen them and
Mm.
then transfer like
Mm.
that.
Yeah, but nevertheless, you're still in the battlefield. You're still part of the front lines. Although
Opo.
sabihin na natin na your hospital is not really entertaining or, nursing COVID-19 patients, but still you're part of the lifeblood of all these frontliners. Medyo madami sa Saudi Arabia. I was just looking at my at my tracker, yung may website kasi for tracking, 'di ba? Confirmed
Opo.
cases pala for Saudi Arabia is 83,000. Medyo madami. Sa Philippines kasi 16,000 plus. Pero mataas din ang recovery rate po ng Saudi Arabia at 58,000,
Mm-mm.
almost 59.
Mm-mm.
So it's a pretty good number, honestly, yung especially the recovery rate. Mataas yung recovery rate nila. So anyhow, how do you see yourself now? Ito kasi yung magandang tanongin diyan eh. Kasi 'di ba, for the longest time, a lot of college people, wag mong college muna, high school muna, a lot of college students, high school students rather, if you ask them, sasabihin nila, anong gusto mong kunin? Magna-nurse ako. Di ba? Yan yung bukang bibig ng maraming tao. Because they wanted to go abroad. Honestly, yan yun eh. They
Yes.
wanted to work elsewhere. They wanted to work
It's a
in
fact.
It's a fact. Oo, gusto nilang mag-US or gusto nilang mag-Europe or Australia or anywhere. Basta yan ang gusto nilang gawin. And then may nagkaroon tayo ng oversupply of nurses in the Philippines. Natatandaan niyo po yan a few years
Yes,
ago? As in walang mapasukan yung mga nurses kasi sobrang dami na.
yes.
Yeah.
Ang dami na.
Ngayon naman, bigla nating na-realize na ang pinakang importante pala talaga na profession is medical.
Mhm.
No? So now how
Because
do,
of pandemic.
because of this pandemic. And ngayon nakikita natin ay kulang pala. Ang DOH lang po dito sa Pilipinas biglang nagkaroon ng ng hiring for nurses. In fact, hindi
Yes.
nga hiring eh. They're asking for volunteers kasi kulang.
Volunteerism, yes.
Kasi kulang. Now, how do you value now po yung sarili nyo? How do you see your value in the society now that this pandemic highlighted the importance of the medical profession, especially the nurses?
Ang hirap
Mhm.
Well, I always keep in mind that my worth being in this field by performing my duties and responsibilities to the best that I can,
Mm.
taking into consideration the core values of nursing. Kasi dyan, the practice of nursing evolves in the core values. So it includes the altruism, so meaning selflessness, okay, autonomy,
Mm.
being independent, okay, and human dignity, to respect the value of life, integrity, adherence to morals and ethical principles, honesty, and social justice. So we practice this profession in these core values because without practicing it,
Mm.
without involving it into practice,
Mm.
I think we can still perform but not that in depth.
Mm.
Ganun po.
May difference po ba that you are a Christian and a nurse at the same time versus, let's say, non-Christian and a nurse? May difference ba when you perform your duty?
I think yes. Kasi you are doing this job not just for yourself, but to the creator of God as well.
Mhm.
No, you must understand that you are dealing with life
Mhm.
and you are part of those, you are part of the team taking care of this life,
Mm.
nurturing it, and keeping in mind that the well-being of this life is your utmost priority.
Hoy,
So,
gusto ko yung sagot mo
being a Christian, not only being a Christian, but I think the other religions also have their own way or belief when dealing with health and taking care of their own health.
Mm. Especially taking care of your of your same kind. I mean, same human beings.
Yes,
Gusto ko yung sinabi niyo na you're actually taking care of the creation of God, which is,
yes,
human being. At saka mahal ng Diyos ang mga tao, di ba? Tas ikaw ngayon yung,
exactly.
kumbaga, ikaw yung instrument to take care
Instrument.
of this very creation that God loves so much. Di ba? Uy,
Opo.
gusto ko yung sagot mo na yan. Parang aral na aral yung sagot mo na yan, mama, no?
Hindi po.
Anyways,
Ganun po talaga.
yeah. So ito isang magandang tanungin din eh. Kasi 'di ba, you go to your work during the day and then, pag umuwi ka habang nakaupo ka sa sofa mo or habang nagre-relax ka just before you go to bed probably. What comes to mind that, one day has already gone again na nag-perform ka na naman ng duty mo. Ano pumapasok sa isipan po ninyo?
Patawarin ang sarili ko.
Ay, bakit naman?
Self-forgiveness, because I practice forgiveness especially when I was not my best self that day.
Mm.
Kasi sometimes our mortal enemy is ourselves.
Hindi yan sometimes. Most of the
And
time.
most of the time.
Yes.
Okay. So whenever challenges sets in that day,
Mm-mm.
I have to, I, this 10-minute self time where I recognize, this challenge that I have encountered the day for that
Mm-mm.
day,
Mm-mm.
and I should learn from it, and be peace to myself, forgive myself because nobody's perfect,
Correct.
and beat myself and do my best next time. Yun na lang that's what I'm thinking at the end of the day.
Mm-mm.
And actually, um, I should not forget it because if I will forget this thing that has happened to me the whole day, I will never learn. So I keep it in mind,
Mm-mm.
and then I will try to be the best that I could the next day.
Mm-mm.
So ganun po. At the end, every time I ended my work.
Mm-mm.
And yun,
What's
like
your
ganun po.
ano naman? What's your realization of the importance of life, of how we live our lives um, amid this crisis ano? Kasi madaming pina-realize itong crisis na to sa atin, 'di ba? Kanya-kanya 'yan eh.
Mm-mm.
Sa akin iba, sa iyo iba din. Sa inyo po, anong realization ang pumasok sa inyo nung nangyari sa atin tong crisis na parang nag-stop talaga yung buhay ng tao bigla eh, 'di ba?
Opo. Siguro po yung trusting the process that God had made.
Mhm.
Trusting the process. For example, just like with the athletes,
Mhm.
for them to become, for them to endure the um the pains, etc.
Mhm.
They need to exercise. They need to work out,
Mhm.
'di ba? To become the best player or to become the best performer that they could.
Mhm.
And right now in this pandemic, we need to trust the process of isolating ourselves,
Mhm.
changing our lifestyles.
Mhm.
Um, what else? We just have to actually strive, no, do our own obligations and let the nature do itself. Because what will happen tomorrow is not is out of our control,
Mhm.
'di ba?
Mhm.
And it is under the control of our creator. So um, we must realize that human inventions has its own end by God's grace, and
Mhm.
it will you know how to say this. Yeah, we just need to trust the plans of God
Mhm.
talaga.
Yeah. And I agree with that and tama yung sabi niyo eh. Eventually it all will lead to making the right choices for yourself and for your family because life is it's a series of choices and not of chances.
Yes.
And I also agree when you say na whatever tomorrow brings we cannot control. That's right. And in fact, I'll go even deeper, Miss Joy, no. What we can only control is what yung katawan natin, whatever this
Yes.
performs. Ito lang, itong body
Mm-mm.
mass natin, this is the only thing basically that we can control. In fact, yung breathing natin, yung oxygen natin, di natin kontrolado yun eh, di ba? So there's a lot
Yes,
of things that
opo,
we cannot
basic.
control.
Mm.
And so I like what you said when you say na, let's do our best and do let's just be accountable and be responsible in our actions and just trust the process. Maganda yun. Parang talagang pang Miss Universe yung mga sagot po ninyo, ano?
Grabe si Sir Nori.
Oo.
Hindi,
Anyways,
yun.
sige po, go ahead po kung may dadagdag pa kayo.
Yun nga po, yun nga po tulad ng sinabi ko kanina,
Mhm.
10% is what is happening to you and 90% is how you react on it.
Mm.
Kasi whenever there are lots of changes, whenever there are changes that is happening in our lives,
Mm.
and we are resistant on it, and we take it negatively,
Mm.
and we frown and we get angry. It will
Mm.
not help.
Mm.
It will not help ourselves. It will not help the government. It will not help those who are frontliners
Mm.
risking their lives.
Mm.
So we just need to abide the rules, please, and understand that these are the necessary measures. Hindi naman po ito with those who are in a position are not just doing this
Mm.
to cause harm
Mm.
to us all. Kasi the main priority here is, kasi the pandemic is already here.
Mm.
Okay, we need to accept that. But the only thing that we can do is to control its spread.
Oo, kasi wala pang vaccine, di ba?
Yes po,
Mm.
yun lang naman ang panawagan talaga natin,
Yeah.
na makontrol lang talaga. Makontrol lang muna. Kasi actually we have our own viruses na, di ba?
Mm.
We have our own viruses. We are created by God with these
Mm.
viruses already. But
Actually,
this
kung
is
maging
not
masunurin po
virus.
lahat ng ano, kung maging masunurin lang lahat ng tao, sabi nga ng
Uh-huh.
mga experts is 14 days lang tapos na yung ano yung usapan kumbaga.
Definitely.
Kasi
Opo.
let's say nung ni-lockdown ng March 16 until for example March 30, so that's 15 days.
Mhm.
If only the people would have adhered and cooperated. As in
Mhm.
talagang, sige, wala mo nang labasan ng bahay, kanya-kanya muna tayo ng buhay for the next 2 weeks. Eh di sana tapos na, di ba? Tapos na yung boxing. Eh ang problema
Mm,
ho,
mm. May
human
pasaway talaga.
beings are really pasaway ba ang tawag doon? Mababait talaga ang mga tao. And they tend to do things differently. Kung ano yung sinabi, iba ang gagawin, di ba? Well, may ganyan eh.
Gano'n.
Oo,
Mm,
kaya
opo.
na-extend po tayo ng na-extend. Oh, di ba? Ngayon May 30 na, 31 na bukas. June na sa isang araw, nasa quarantine pa rin tayo. Anyways, Miss
Mm.
Joy, what will be your advice? This is my last question to you. Actually, it's not just a question, it's more of an encouragement. What will be your encouragement to those kids? No, ngayon, yung mga kids ngayon who are probably thinking about pursuing a career in medical or a career in nursing. Anong maa-advise niyo po sa kanila or anong encouragement niyo po sa kanila?
Okay, first and foremost, you need to become holistically prepared. Holistically prepared po. Number one, of course, when you say holistically, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually.
Mhm.
So mentally, I think, in my own opinion,
Mhm.
kapag when you are taking a certain course, um, sana wag muna tayong mag-love life.
Mhm. Nako.
Kasi mentally, it can sometimes disturb
Mm.
our
Mm.
focus. But if you can manage studying while you
Mm.
are in a relationship, that's fine.
So hindi kayo
Maybe,
nag-love life nung nag-aaral pa kayo?
no.
After
Kasi
na lang.
actually,
After na lang.
hindi rin. Hindi rin, Sir Nori. Matagal pa bago nagkaroon talaga.
Off the line
Hindi
na lang
kasi,
yan. Off the line discussion na lang yan.
sige na. Kasi personal. Nori
Sige,
talaga.
go,
Oh.
go
So,
ahead po. Go
yun
ahead po.
nga, mentally, make sure that you can focus on this. Kasi, based on my experience, talagang tutok ito eh. Halos sa hindi ako natutulog. 4 hours lang ang tulog mo a day.
Mhm.
Lalo na nung third year and fourth year na ako. Kasi, andyan na yung magkakaroon ka na ng thesis, research, mga ganyan.
Mhm.
So, mentally, physically, you need to become physically fit. Ngayon pa lang, before entering the course, dapat may handa mo na. You must ready yourself, your health by practicing healthy lifestyle. Kasi you will have a medical exam before entering the university. So you need to pass that exam.
Mhm.
And then, yung emotionally preparedness, yung iba halos hindi prepared eh. Kasi yung iba, sasabihin nila, choice ito ng parents ko, ganyan. Hindi ko naman talaga to gusto, ganyan.
Oo.
But still, I'm not saying this because I'm a nurse or I'm in this field, pero actually, kahit hindi mo ito choice, when you are already taking the course, ma-encourage ka kasi you are studying human. You are studying the structure or the human anatomy, the how human behave. So yun, along the way, magugustuhan mo na rin ang nursing career. And lalo na ngayon, nakaka-proud kasi napaka-useful mo. We are very useful. Tawag nga sa amin, we are called pandemic buster.
Pandemic busters.
Di ba?
Ghostbusters.
Parang hero na hero ka talaga. Pero
Hero naman
ka,
talaga. Oo.
pero hero ka dahil may pinaguhugat, may pinaguhugutan ka ng pagiging hero mo. And that is what I think the purpose of life. To do something that is useful while you are alive before leaving this earth.
Amen.
No?
Amen.
Amen. And when you're already in this course, taking already this course, do not be dismayed. Do not be afraid in facing the challenges along the way. Kasi this will serve as your training ground when you're already in the field. It will booster your endurance. No? When you're already in the actual field, you already have the knowledge, you are already equipped with the skills. So you will only deal with the protocols of the institution that you are in. So hindi na masyadong madali. So you need to include your heart when you're in this profession. Kasi you are not just in this job for, well, it is necessary, money. Of course, hindi na natin may pagkakaila yun. Money makes the world go round. But kung ang idadahilan mo lang lagi is money, you will not be happy. You should make it as a passion. Kung kaya mo, make it as a passion. Love this job so that you will be able to perform this type of responsibility joyfully. Ganun po.
Wow.
So,
napakalalim.
Yun. Kasi mahirap pong gawin ang isang bagay na hindi ka masaya.
Oo naman.
Diba?
Tsaka hindi mo gusto talaga. That's why, when you said na maraming bata kasi yung, hindi lang sa nursing, even in other courses, maraming bata yung ginagawa nila because they were pushed by their parents to do so. Pero at the end of the day, ang may sasagot ko dyan is, but you agreed. Meron pa ring consent.
Yes, in the first place.
Diba? You agreed na, sige na nga, papayag kang kukunin yon. So, once you agree, dyan nagsa-start yung dyan nagsa-start yung training natin when it comes to agreement and commitment. So, when you agree and commit to it, then you have to do it. Otherwise, sa una pa lang, kung ayaw mo talaga, wag mong gawin. So, yun naman yun. So kids, yes. I think ang masasabi ko lang ganito, for those kids out there who are probably thinking of their courses right now, upon entering college, ngayon pa lang identify what you want, identify your passion, so that you can push it to your parents. Hindi yung the other way around na yung parents ang nagpupush po sa inyo ng kukunin ninyo or profession ninyo. Identify it as early as possible and you push it. I-ingrain po ninyo sa kanilang mga isipan yung gusto po ninyong mangyari.
Yes po.
Yeah. So it has been a very insightful interview that I had with you, Miss Joy. Salamat sa pagpayag Salamat sa pagpayag sa pag-guest po dito sa ating programa. And I was very much educated and I had a great time talking to you. Nakakatuwa naman.
Oh, thank you po.
So, guys, again, Miss Joy Cruz, a nurse, a frontliner from Saudi Arabia, a Filipina. at that. Okay?
Yes.
So nakakatuwa ang ating pong mga kababayang Pilipino ay kahit sa ang sulok man ng mundo talagang nagsisilbi. Hindi lamang para sa Pilipino kundi sa lahat ng klase ng tao. This has been your host, Nori Uy. Until the next episode of Off the Line, mag-ingat po kayo. We're still on quarantine. God bless you. See you next time.